For nearly a decade, you've been asking Jason questions. But did anyone think to fact check this guy? This is the Audit Jason Show. This YouTube video is 3 years old and it has 2 views. Why did I keep making them? I wish it had more because it talks about what to include as a landlord when you're renting out your property. And I think there's some stuff in here that will surprise people. My name is Jason. Welcome. Hello, everybody. This is the Audit Jason Show. I'm going to go back, look at videos that I made sometime over the last decade plus, and audit them to determine where I was wrong and give better information now than I did then, or applaud myself on the off chance that I said something good when I was a child. Not literally a child. I was in my 30s, early 30s, 10 years ago. Okay, so let's just go ahead and watch this bad boy. What do you think, Director Joe? You ready? Yeah? He put his thumb up.
Is it recording?
Is it? Yeah, I just hit record. It's recording. What? You're not Santa Claus. Give it up. Okay, so let's do this.
On this episode, I'll tell you why heat and light included is a good thing for landlords, and you know Nan loves to drop carnation milk in her tea. This real estate stuff is not easy.
I wonder where people will watch this and if they'll get the carnation milk thing. I think it's worth it, though.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am Jason Piercy, and this is episode, what is it? 16 of the Ask Jason Show, which is me. It's the Ask Me Show, the Ask Jason Show. Here we go, written down in front of me.
Say it again.
And this comes from my own life, and it's something that I thought through, and if I questioned it to myself, sort of, and made a decision on it, I thought there would be other people, other landlords, it's about that would appreciate it. And the question is, as a landlord, is it better to rent my apartment POU, meaning plus other utilities, so they paid their own bills, or heat and light included? Now, for some context, I've owned a couple of 2 apartment homes, and prior to having a real estate license, I worked as a leasing agent for the 3rd largest real estate investment trust in Canada, the province, I was going to say, biggest in the province. And so I learned a lot about how to entice people from a marketing standpoint. So people always dive at the opportunity to have heat and light included. So that will up the amount of leads that you'll generate to get people to rent your apartment. However,
I'm going to pause this for a second because right now in our market, we have like 0% vacancy. We have a rental housing crisis, and our rental rates are higher than they have historically ever been. And it's a constant thing that people are complaining about in the public, that landlords are ripping people off and that it's the fault of the landlords that rents are so high and blah, 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 all these things. And I understand intuitively why for some people that appears to be the case. I do understand. And maybe we'll get into how it's not accurate later, but there is a degree, there's enough of a degree of truth to it that allows it to be understood and you can be empathetic about it. So, but in this market that the former version of me is talking about, it was way harder to get tenants, and you had to cut your rate for your rent to get people to rent your place. So that's sort of what motivated this conversation at the time. And just that little bit of information is enough to let us understand that rental rates do this over time. Now, it's on but yeah, anyway, let's continue.
That any time that you're making things super accessible, you're generating activity from a demographic that is potentially in need of more accessible things because they already bailed on a light and power bill for a couple of grand somewhere else, and they're trying to stick you on the hook. So you don't need that, but you will get more activity. My personal thought on it is that I like to rent out my stuff, heat and light included, because I don't mind sifting through the applicants. I don't mind calling their references, confirming their employment. To me, that's
Point of clarification, you can no longer ask somebody for proof of employment, because if you're renting out to somebody, requesting a proof of employment is it 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 is why can't I find the word? It discriminates against those who aren't able to work. So you can't ask for proof of employment. You are allowed to request confirmation of the funds that are used for rent, but it doesn't have to be from employment, because there are a lot of people who are like on disability or whatever different reason, or they're retired, they sold their house, they're sitting on a bunch of cash, they don't have a job, so you're going to ask them for proof of employment before they rent your place? Don't be an idiot. Anyway, the world has evolved and we should with it. Continuing.
that's just part of being a landlord. Or hire a property manager and let them do it for you. But I like renting out heat and light included for a couple of reasons. One, I still get to monitor the light bill. So I get to see what they're doing
There's
in
value
my
in that.
apartment. And secondly, if I know that my equal payment plan for my apartment is $135 a month, and I know how much market rent is for the apartment itself, that's say $1,000 a month, I'm not charging $11.35. I'm charging like $12.20 for heat and light included. So I'm actually picking up a little bit more money, because there is a risk. You say what you like. There's a risk on me that you, as my tenant, are going to crank the heat up and open the windows because it's too warm. So I need to be able to monitor that, and I need to build in a risk factor. Like a key thing to do.
So that might not sound kind, or it might not sound particularly helpful, or some might say that, well, that's driving up the rents across the city. Like, okay, well, just don't rent that one. But if it's like if you rent, let's say you're renting a car out to somebody, and you rent it out including gas, that you're paying for the gas. How do you determine how much to charge? You have to build in a risk factor, and that's why it is done. And if the tenant likes it and is willing to take it, and the landlord is happy about it, then I have a hard time finding the flaw. If both the service provider and the consumer are happy, I don't know, what's the problem? What's the problem, Director Joe? What's your problem? You got no problem? You're okay? All right, you're okay? That was weird. Yeah. Okay. Oof. Let's move on.
It's the heat and light included thing. You have to be on an equal payment plan, because you don't need that December, or well, let's say January, February, where you got the $400 light bill and it messes up your monthly family budget, and now you can't buy carnation milk to put in your tea when Nan comes over because you spent it all on heat and light. So you do need an equal payment plan, but that helps you manage your risk, because you don't have those highs and lows, and you still got a buffer every single month. But there you go. To me, I do heat and light included. I just think it's better. Joe, you got houses. Do you agree with any of this? No, Joe doesn't like it. He's giving me one of these.
What about now?
Joe doesn't like it. I think it's a good idea.
Yes.
Are there pluses to POU? Obviously. Yes. It's not your problem. It's somebody else's problem. If they don't pay the bill, it's not on you. But I don't know. I like it. And that's all that I have to say for today. So we will see you next time. Have a very, very Merry Christmas. Rum and eggnog. Happy New Year.
So this is interesting. Okay, let's just stop this. I don't need this anymore. So rum and eggnog, I said there. This is funny. So Director Joe, my dear friend, has, I guess, effectively given up drinking coffee from home. Like, really? Like, you'll drink like different teas and things like that, but you've basically given up drinking coffee from home. So the last number of times I've come over to film, I've been without coffee, or I've picked one up on the way or something like that. Today, I brought coffee with me. We had to like rinse out his Keurig in order to use it, but I brought it with me. And also, I brought this little mason jar that was like had stuff in it. And see, now I'm going to go on because now I want to tell the whole story. And the audience doesn't know that my fiance Sam and I had a child, a son, Waylon. There's a slow clap in there by director Joe. He was born on Michael Myers' birthday, the chef knife wielding psychopath murdering Michael Myers, not the. It'll be in 2 days. He will be 4 weeks old. So anyway, I brought over a couple of pods. McDonald's premium. I think McDonald's has the best coffee for drive-throughs. Better than Starbucks. Definitely better than Tim's. And better than a couple of local places. And I brought this over with some stuff in it, and to put in the coffee because Joe doesn't have cream or whatever else. And I laid out the coffee, and he was excited. And then I said, "And I have this," and he goes, "Oh, what is it?" And I said, "Guess," and he goes, "Breast milk." And it wasn't. It wasn't. But I wish I had thought of that as an option. Not to bring it, slow down, but to pretend that I had brought it and to confidently pour it into my coffee and to encourage Joe to have some in his coffee just to see how that played out. I didn't. And now it's too late. And I can never do it to him because you'll never bite. Or you will bite assuming there's zero chance that I did it for real and that you would think that I was definitely in on there was a gag and there was no way it would be real breast milk, so you just happily do it and you probably chugged a thing, except it will be breast milk. No, I'm not going to do it. Anyway, it was eggnog. So when eggnog is available in stores in the late fall, I start buying it in 1 liters and use it as the cream in my coffee. And then Joe's rubbing his eyes. He is so frustrated and annoyed by me. He's like, "Oh my God. All right, Joe, sorry I didn't bring breast milk." Anyway, breast milk, best milk. Thank you for watching. Rent out your apartments, heat and light included. I think it's fine, especially if it's a property that you have owned for a while or was built recently and you've put the work into energy efficiency upgrades. Like, I know how much it will cost to heat my house. And I know that I put a couple of mini splits in. I know that I have a propane fired on demand hot water system. I know that I have a propane range. And my electric bill is super, super low. I've got an R29.5 rating on my exterior walls. So yeah, heat and light included for sure. Add $300 a month to it. Nobody else knows any different. Like, it's fine. Yeah. Anyway, too much talking. Too much talking. Thank you very much for watching this episode of Audit Jason. And we'll best milk, breast milk, best milk. See you next time. Sorry. Let's try that again. Until next time. For all your real estate needs, dial 709-770-3114. Ask for Jason. Okay. Can we stop? I'm done. Like, I have finished. I don't have anything else to say.
I'm the director and I haven't said cut yet.
Okay. Well, I'm the director and I haven't said cut yet. Okay, what do we have here? Skip wants me to know that for a power lunch, I can get an extra 1,000 points if I order between 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. There's details in the app. A client who I'm building a new home for, we did our final walkthrough. Well, not our final walkthrough. We did a walkthrough yesterday to do look for paint deficiencies. There were almost none. The hanger by herself, the closet paid for vet, never received measures for grades. Okay, awesome. Okay, bye.